consciousness does, then there is a question of freedom from doership. Because consciousness is doing. So there is doership. If there is a doership, then there are karmas. Then there are result. And as per the result, it will have a prarabdha. So consciousness will take birth. Consciousness will die. Consciousness doesn't do anything. What does sun do? Sun doesn't do anything. It is self-shining. A little less volume. So, sun doesn't do anything. In presence of sun, the world is illumined. We write a sentence like this: sun illumines the earth. Illumines is a verb. Verb denotes action. Right? Which action? Illumining. But on the part of sun, there is no will to illumine. If there is a will, then he can suspend also, or he can abuse also that will. All things are possible. Every day, the same thing. Today I am tired. Now let me take some rest. That way also think. Nothing happens like that. So, sun, which is by the nature, which is self-shining, well, in its presence, the world is illumined. Same way, in presence of consciousness, mind is illumined. When the mind is illumined, mind receives also a reflected consciousness. Mind is illumined in presence of consciousness, and mind receives consciousness. That's how mind becomes conscious. That conscious mind is called jiva, which owns up whatever is happening in the mind. But mind is not only component of the subtle body. There are senses. So whatever senses does, that also it owns up. Whatever organs of action do, that also it owns up. Whatever pranas do, that also it owns up. Therefore, owns up, O-W-N-S. Therefore, what mind does? Well, mind emotes. Therefore, I emote. Mind emotes never comes. I emote. Then, I am recollecting. Can we still reduce little volume? So, I emote, I recollect, I perceive, I infer, right? I infer. It's all mind has varieties of function. But the mind which is illumined in presence of consciousness receives consciousness, reflected consciousness, become conscious, and I sense arises, ahankara arises. And that's job is to own up the various activities. Activities at the sensory level, activities at the organ of action level, activities of the prana, all it owns up. Therefore, I am hungry, I am thirsty, I am seeing. Swamiji, that is error, then what is the right vision? In presence of I, the consciousness, eyes see. That's the thing. Seeing, or in presence of I, the consciousness, seeing takes place. That's a correct understanding. I see is a wrong. But it is. It should be. Real I do not see. Real I do not hear. Real I don't do anything. This transactional I we discussed, right? Ahankara is a transactional. Atma doesn't do anything because what Atma can do? Because Atma, there is nothing other than Atma. Where is the question of doing something? Some objective is there, then Atma has to do something. To do an action, it requires limbs. It requires certain knowledge and everything. Atma is free from everything. Atma is just Atma. It's a basis for everything. Everything functions in presence of Atma. Everything becomes conscious and function. That is why definition of Atma is given in Kenopanishad as this is the way Nididhyasanam should be done. This is the way. If you want to become free from doership, because you are free from doership, you should do this. In presence of I, the consciousness, hearing takes place. In presence of I, consciousness, seeing takes place. In presence of I, consciousness, emotion takes place. Takes place, when you say, the doership goes away. It's a reality. Like in presence of a king, all the members of the court function. Or in presence of a magnet, all the iron fillings do varieties of the activity. You are like that, you are magnet. Wow, what a thing. I want to be magnet, I want to attract people. No problem. You are magnet. Really. But that real I am consciousness is not understood. So the fake I, the transactional I take it as myself. Then I say I am a doer, I am an enjoyer, experiencer. So ahankara does. And it has to. It's a Ishvara's arrangement, I told you. Any activity is happening, you immediately ask, who is doing it? You will ask. Right? Some activity is happening, then you say, who is doing that action? Activity means any action. So various parts of the subtle body become conscious in presence of consciousness. How they become conscious? Because they receive the reflected consciousness. They are of that nature. They are of that nature that, like this also is illumined in light. And if I keep a mirror also, is also illumined in light. But mirror receives the light, mirror is illumined in light. At the same time, mirror reflects the light also. So mirror also becomes a secondary illuminator. Right? Secondary illuminator. This is a primary illuminator. Mirror also can illumine. Suppose light falls in mirror, and if then and that reflected light in this will fall on the wall. That's what happens in India, right? So the sunlight enters into your house, and some mirror, etc., is there. From the mirror hit on the wall. This is what ahankara is. This is what the mind is. That's how your doership, experience, enjoyership, etc., just resolves when mind resolves. Deep sleep state, mind resolves. You are not a doer, not an enjoyer, not experiencer, anything. So this is the job of a ahankara, doership, etc., not of Atma. Atma is something which enlivens this ahankara, which gives a existence to ahankara. Right? So that's how Jiva is non-separate from Brahman. We say Jiva is non-separate from Paramatma, or Jiva is non-separate from Atma. Jiva is non-separate from consciousness, whatever. I mean, this is how it is. You are consciousness. There is nothing other than you. There is no question of doing, etc. Because of consciousness, everything becomes alive. Yeah. Pranas function, mind function, right? All this function. The subtle body becomes conscious and function. That's called life. Subtle body lives. Dead body. So you, the consciousness, is more than life. You are much more than life. Could you follow? Because of you, there is a life. Not because there is a life that you are. That's what we generally think. You are much more than life. Your dimension goes beyond life. Your existence that's better actually. Your existence goes beyond life. We feel I am exist because there is a life. That's a ahankara only. Yeah. And this both eyes, ahankara eye and real eye, both you can experience. In some situation there is ahankara. In some situation you refer to that I, which I say now, let's say Sakshi. I will explain that. So you sometimes refer I as a Sakshi, sometimes you refer I as a Jiva, ahankara. But you are not aware of. Like, right now, I ask you, who are you? I said, Swami, I am seeing you, I am a seer. Ahankara. But you say, Swamiji, I am the same I who was half an hour before, was eating in a dining room. I am the same I. Now this I is different. The eater I, ahankara. The seer I, ahankara. But there is one I which connects both. That's not ahankara. That's not ahankara. Could you follow? So you yourself refer to two eyes. But you are not aware that I am basically. I was the same person, Swamiji, who met so-and-so in the morning. I'm the one who is right now seeing you, is the same person who met so-and-so in the morning to somebody. Means there is one I which is continuously there in all different ahankaras. Could you follow? There is one I which is, the person who met so-and-so has gone. That ahankara has gone. Right now you are seeing. So that is present ahankara. But there is one I who was there at the time, is the same I now in this form of ahankara. Seer. Who is that I? Is neither a seer. Right? Neither a whatever, the walker, etc. I have to say differently now. So there is one I which is continuously present in different forms of ahankara, seer, hearer, etc. Who is that I? It's not ahankara. Ahankara which is time bound. Right now you are seeing, you say, I am seer. Suppose you just walk off. Well, Swamiji, I am going, I am tired, etc. Whatever. So you just walk off. You are not a seer now. You may be saying, I am a walker or whatever. So seer I has gone. Walker I has come. But in your mind that is there. That I am the same I who was seeing Swami before 5 minutes. Is the same I walking now. That I is a witness. That's a real I, which never goes. We say like that, the I who experienced the deep sleep state is the same I, now is experiencing waking state. Right? Therefore, that I, which is present in all three states of experiences, and in three states of experiences, only ahankara is there. Waker, ahankara. Dreamer, ahankara. Deep sleeper, ahankara. Time bound, goes away. But there is one I which is present in all. Clear now? So this is a Sakshi. So it's not that this Atma is to be experienced, etc. with the knowledge. You analyze your own experiences, you find, there is one basic I, which assumes various forms of ahankara. That I is present. That's called Turiya. Present in all the three states, without which no experience can take place, at the same time distinct from three. It's distinct from three. Is neither a waker, nor dreamer, nor deep sleeper. Right? Waker has gone away. Deep sleeper comes, or deep sleeper has gone away and dreamer comes. And so they are time bound, they come and go. But I am the one who is the basis of all the three states of experiences. At the same time, I am distinct from all the three states of experiences. I am not ahankara. because of which the Ahankara functions, etc. And therefore, because of consciousness, there are the organs, etc., which they become conscious and function, which we call life. That's it. So, body doesn't make consciousness alive. Consciousness makes body alive. That's the thing. Please. You said something you wanted to ask? Yes.
So this Turiya is the same as consciousness then?
Yes, exactly.
It's the same thing.
Okay. Same thing. We call Sakshi or witness with respect to our mind. But it is consciousness. Consciousness is the basis. That's what we were discussing in evening. That is Sakshi. It doesn't have that witnessing kind of a thing. Let me witness. No. Sun, exactly like sun. Sun illumines everything without having a motive to illumine. So I also illumine the mind and everything, makes it alive, makes it conscious without motive to make them alive or make them conscious. Because I am self-revealing consciousness and they are non-separate from me. They are automatically illumined. And they become conscious too because of their nature. This is called freedom from doership. Knowing yourself, you become free from doership. You have not to, people say, Swamiji, how to become free from doership? After doing well, should I say that I'm not a karta, I'm not a karta, etc. Well, that itself is a will-based to say I am not a karta. So when the will is involved, there is a kartrutva. Knowing yourself in reality, what is your nature, you automatically become free from doership. It's a big thing. Doership goes away means what? Samsara goes away. As a doer, one has a lot of guilt. As an experiencer, you have a lot of hurt. Because you experience the world morning to evening. And as you experience, somebody behaves in this way, that, etc., etc. So you get hurt also. One who takes oneself as an experiencer gets hurt in a certain experience. One who takes oneself as a doer feels guilty after doing certain thing. And this guilt and hurt, my God, it just doesn't go. It resurfaces itself even after 25 years. People remember even what happened before 25 years, some wrong action. Now also still repenting, etc. I should not have done that, and etc. Kimaham sadhuna karavam, kimaham papama karavam. Kimaham sadhuna karavam. Sadhu, good action. Kimaham na karavam. Taittiriya Upanishad. Why did not I do a right action at that time? Why did I do a wrong action? Right? This kind of a guilt. So why is deep sleep state called tamasic state if it is also Anandamaya Kosha? Deep sleep state is not called tamasic state. No. Tattvabodha defines deep sleep state as a malina sattva avastha. It is not a tamasic state. Nothing is tamasic. Yeah. What happens is, Tattvabodha equates three things. Karana Sharira, in terms of Sharira. In terms of a state of experience, it is a deep sleep state. And in terms of a kosha, it is Anandamaya. So deep sleep state is equal to Karana Sharira is equal to Anandamaya Kosha. And in a deep sleep state, if it is a Karana Sharira means all the three faculties, which we call three gunas, are in a potential state. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Potential state. And during waking state, these two things keep on happening. Knowing, doing. These two. Knowing and doing. And to know, in terms of activity during waking state, what are the things which are active? Sense organs and mind, constantly functioning. Then in terms of doing also, we do a lot of things during waking state. At that time, what is active? Organs of action, our hands, legs, speech, etc. They are active. Of course, mind will be there behind for that purpose also. So knowing, doing, knowing, doing, knowing, doing. So during waking state, mind, sense organs, organs of action, of course prana is definitely active to supply energy to all this. So this body is very active, because when sense organ is active or organ of action is active, organ of action comes out which is a subtle form, comes out and become active. No, it is remaining in the golaka, remaining in the gross part, it is active, right? So when you run, definitely your legs, padendriya, is active, but then gross part also is active. So the gross body is also active and subtle body also is active. If it remains like that, then there will be problem. Everything needs some rest, right? Therefore, this gross body and subtle body, which is very active during waking state, should be not put to rest, but this is Swami, a crazy guy. Should be given some rest. Knowing faculty. Knowing faculty is active means your sattva guna is predominant. When doing faculty is active in a waking state means your rajo guna is predominant. So this rajo guna and sattva guna both have to be definitely given rest. Therefore, tamo guna becomes predominant. Tamo guna is nothing but a power of inertia. Inertia, power of inertia means what? Whatever is active makes it still. So, our mind, senses, organs of action, including gross body, naturally, are given rest. That's a deep sleep state, in which tamo guna is predominant. But Tattvabodha says malina sattva pradhana avastha. So that is a state which is not tamasic or tamasic avastha. It means tamoguna is predominant. Malina sattva means tamoguna basically overpowers your sattva to a large extent, except for one function. And that tamoguna also overpowers rajoguna completely. So what happens is, when it overpowers sattva guna, almost all knowledge function stops. Seeing, hearing, everything stops. Even thinking, inferring, etc. all stops. But one knowledge continues even in deep sleep state. Knowledge of ignorance, that will be there. Experience of ignorance, that will be there. That's how you say, definitely when you wake up you say, but you said like this, in a deep sleep state, I did not know anything. Means you had a knowledge of ignorance. So that much sattva is there. Knowing faculty means sattva. So this much knowledge is there in deep sleep state. That much experience continues. Rajoguna becomes totally overpowered. When Rajoguna becomes overpowered, a projecting power stops. Projecting, desiring, anxiety, worry, all Rajoguna. All this, our jealousy, everything. A mind really enjoys life when a mind has a certain abiding capacity, not projecting capacity. Mind projects lot because those two, Ravana and Kumbhakarna, are sitting. Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, they are sitting. Likes and dislikes. Mind is a projecting power because of likes and dislikes. If likes and dislikes are being neutralized to an extent, mind enjoys certain abiding capacity. Mind will have an abiding capacity. But anyway, so this is Rajoguna is predominant. Rajoguna is overpowered by the Tamoguna. Therefore, no projecting, no desiring, no anxiety, no worry. Therefore, there is a joy in a deep sleep state. So, Tamoguna overpowers Sattvaguna to an extent. So, you will have a simple function, knowledge of ignorance will be there. Rajoguna is totally overpowered and therefore joy is there. And Tamoguna itself stands for ignorance, right? Ignorance. So, ignorance of oneself also will be there. You will not be able to introduce yourself. Whatever knowledge you have right now, that you will not be able to say in a deep sleep state. Ignorance covers as though. So that is there. So in a deep sleep state, definitely you have a certain joy. And you have a small knowledge, little knowledge of ignorance, etc. also will be there. That is we call as a Anandamaya Kosha. Yeah. Because deep sleep state is a uniform experience of joy for everyone. Uniform. Because deep sleep state definitely reveals that Rajoguna is totally overpowered. So everyone experiences practically joy in a deep sleep state. So Anandamaya Kosha we call as a in a deep sleep state is equated with the Karana Sharira, Anandamaya Kosha. Anandamaya Kosha is not just present in a deep sleep state, it is also present in a waking state. It manifests in a waking state in form of three types of thoughts. Anandamaya Kosha. Three types of thoughts of joy, thoughts of happiness, with a degree, certain degree. We call Priya, Moda, Pramoda. Sometimes you see certain thing which you like and you get a joy. It's a little joy, but you get it. Ishta darshanajam sukham priyam, they call. Ishta, desirable. Darshanajam, jam is which is born of. So something which is desirable and you see and you get a joy. Like you go to a shopping mall and you like certain things and you are searching actually. You have visited earlier also 2-3 times but you didn't get it. It got exhausted or whatever reason. Now this time you went and you saw. So you get a joy. Right? Then Ishta Grahanajam Sukham is called Modaha. That's also a joy. But Grahanajam Sukham, Ishtavastu, that desirable thing you acquire, you buy. You buy it. So then you get a little more joy. And when you reach home and then you enjoy, whatever. I mean, it is a food item. Ishta Bhogajam Sukham Pramodaha. That's how they say. Bhogajam. So this, in waking state, the joy manifests in degrees. Priyamoda, Pramoda, that is also Anandamaya Kosha. But in a deep sleep state, it will not be in the form of these thoughts of happiness because mind is resolved. Therefore, there is a uniform ananda for everyone who is in a deep sleep state. Uniform. There will not be in a waking state, it may be so that you may be happy right now seeing things, etc., or experiencing something. At the same time, I may be unhappy. You may be happy, I may be unhappy. Or you may be happy so much, you have ecstasy for something. And I may be happy with certain thing I have seen as a desirable thing, I have seen it. So all these kinds of things are there in a waking state. But when we sleep, all of us will have a uniform joy. Because that joy is not in the form of a priya moda, pramoda, etc. Because the vrittis, the thoughts, are absent, resolved. So, that is why a deep sleep state is called Anandamaya Kosha, because Rajoguna is absent. Rajoguna is the one which makes your mind agitated, anxiety, worry, all, desire, project. When it becomes free from that, naturally, it enjoys. And why it becomes free? Because Rajoguna is overpowered by Tamoguna.
I have a question.
Swamiji, in the sleeping state that you described, where Rajoguna is overpowered by Tamoguna, the Rajoguna is sometimes helpful because in the sleep also, where you talk about projecting, it creates anxiety, joy, all the different kinds. Many scientists have attributed solving unsolvable problems during daytime, waking time, during the sleep. Could you please give us a bit of a hint as to how that happens?
I also heard of it, but I have no idea on that, frankly speaking. Because our analysis of the deep sleep state is not of the analysis of a deep sleep state. Our analysis of the deep sleep state is ultimately to arrive at that Turiya, to arrive at the Atma. So we have not gone into the details of a deep sleep state, the analysis of the deep sleep state. In general, we analyze so that we can make a distinction that I am not a deep sleeper also. I am something which is distinct from even deep sleeper. That is only a ahankara, etc. So I have not come across about. I have heard about it, but I don't know the analysis further about this. Okay.
So I have a question on that.
Yes.
The breathing, what guna is that?
Breathing?
Automatic breathing? What guna is that?
Yeah, that is Rajoguna.
So we are breathing during the sleep. So
absolutely. But it is overpowered. It's an involuntary breathing. It has to be there. Otherwise, if breathing has to be, if suppose breathing is a voluntary, then sometimes you may forget. You get up in the morning and you forget that I have to breathe. Right? So Ishvara has made an arrangement. Certain things he has made involuntary. So you need not have to bother. So even though it is a function of a Rajoguna only, pranas are made up of Rajoguna, but of the subtle elements. But you are not aware of the function. So basically that's a thing. That way we say, and especially when we say, when we describe deep sleep state, frankly speaking, all these three states are the states of a mind. Really. States of a mind. States of ahankara means states of a mind. So basically our mind is not projecting, etc. Mind is made up of a malina sattva guna. Our upadhi is a malina sattva. So we have a sattva as well as rajoguna as well as tamoguna, and one of them manifests due to karma. So guna doesn't manifest. Guna's effect of the guna, like laziness manifests. Then you understand it is tamoguna is predominant, like that. So our upadhi, as I am Brahman, but then upadhi is malina sattva. Ishvara also is Brahman, but his upadhi is a vishuddha sattva, maya, etc. So where his sattva is not tainted by the other two gunas, whereas here sattva guna is tainted by. That's how in morning sometimes you are very pleasant and everything, and as the day passes, you become active and all that. So Rajoguna becomes active, Tamoguna also becomes active. Sometimes morning itself, Tamoguna will be active. It is also possible, or laziness, etc. In the morning itself, when you get up, you feel that you are not fresh. You feel so. So that is why, with respect to the mind, we are saying this. Right? So that is the thing. But otherwise, it's a very good question. Involuntary action of the prana, etc. continues. So Rajoguna is there, but that it has to be there. Otherwise, life will end. Right. So it is. But you are not aware of any function at that time. Yeah.
Sorry,
that reveals that Tamoguna is overpowering. Yeah.
I have one more question.
Yes.
The Panchakosha, Anandamaya Kosha is one of the Panchakoshas.
Yeah.
And Atma Bodha says we are not any of those. The consciousness is not any of those. Exactly. So why are we saying Anandamaya Kosha is there when we're sleeping? Because in sleep, deep sleep, we say we are our consciousness.
No, but with Upadhi, it becomes a deep sleeper. So with the Anandamaya Kosha, Upadhi, that's a Upadhi. So we, as such, from your standpoint, your consciousness, that is there. But if you include this Upadhi, means, let's say ignorance, right? And or Malina Sattva Avastha, you include, then you become a deep sleeper. And I said Atma is not even a deep sleeper, right? So when I say deep sleeper as I, then I am adding some Upadhi in that. Could you follow? So what they have done is, these Pancha Koshas, I have been divided into 3 shariras, etc. And in a waking state, definitely Annamaya Kosha is a predominant, etc. In a dream state, it is Manomaya Kosha is very active. And in a deep sleep state, Anandamaya Kosha is active. And Pranamaya Kosha, of course, is there. So definitely, so there is a predominance of Annamaya Kosha in a waking state. That's how your consciousness as though has come up to this gross body. And as a waker, you relate to the world. When as a waker you are relating, definitely along with the gross body you are active. So these koshas you can divide into 3 states of experiences, or these koshas, panchakoshas can be divided into 3 shariras. Right? 3 shariras. Sthula sharira, which is Annamaya, and Sukshma sharira is this Pranamaya, Manomaya and Vijnanamaya. And Karana Sharira is Anandamaya. So that is how a division. It's a way of looking at the things. They are all models, basically. So either you analyze 3 states of experience and arrive at the Atma, either you arrive through Panchakosha, Viveka, etc. So this is how. Or Karana Sharira, 3 bodies. You do a Viveka and you understand yourself distinct from 3 bodies, etc. So that is a model, actually. So you mentioned that mind can never be silent. If it is something, what? In deep sleep, is not mind silent? Or is it? Or is it what? Deep sleep mind doesn't exist? In deep sleep mind doesn't exist? Well, I have not totally understood, but I can say this much. In deep sleep, mind doesn't exist, not like that. Mind resolves. There is nothing called non-existence, really speaking. From the scientific standpoint or from our standpoint, there is no non-existence. Things are in a manifest state or things are in an unmanifest state. That's it. So therefore, in deep sleep state, mind becomes unmanifest, resolves. That's it. Not that it becomes non-existent. If it is non-existent, then how it comes into existence? From non-existent, existent thing cannot come. And therefore, in morning again, you find the same mind, a reacting mind which was there before you slept. Suppose morning you get up with those reactions, that shows the mind was very much present, but it was in an unmanifest state. And therefore, this is only two states. Avyaktadini bhutani व्यक्त मध्यानि भारत अव्यक्त निधनान्येव तत्र का परिदेवना अव्यक्तात् व्यक्तयः सर्वाः प्रभवन्ति अहरागमे रात्र्यागमे प्रलीयन्ते तत्रैव अव्यक्त संज्ञके. Bhagavan said avyaktam vyaktam, unmanifest manifest. Pralaya is called unmanifest state. Waking, the creation is called a manifest state. It's same way deep sleep state is called unmanifest state, and waking etc. is a called a manifest state, and dream is called a semi-manifest. So Ardha Jagrata etc. they call. Anyway, so but still it is a manifest, but not fully dream state. So I don't understand. Mind can never be silent, you said, but it is something. In deep sleep, is not mind silent, etc. Okay. Anyone's question we can clarify further, and I can answer.
A quick question on the last comment.
Yeah.
When you say unmanifest, then the question might come where does the mind resolve or unmanifest? So is there a way to think about that?
Yes, unmanifest resolves in unmanifest, but you cannot distinguish. When anything reaches into unmanifest state, like the whole creation also resolves, I said, right? Resolves, it is unmanifest. And this person also resolves, his mind, body, etc. resolves. Now, so unmanifest at the level of individual, unmanifest at the level of total. That difference between the individual and total in unmanifest condition cannot be distinguished. In unmanifest condition, the distinction between an individual who is in unmanifest state or a total which becomes unmanifest at the time of resolution, etc., that distinction cannot be found. The distinction between individual and the total can be discovered only in a waking state. When you are awake, you say, well, I am this and this is world. I am an individual and this is world. So the distinction is there. But it is in waking state. When you resolve in a deep sleep state, I mean your body, mind, senses resolve, well, there is no distinction between an individual in unmanifest state and the total. Could you follow? The distinction is not there between individual and total. Distinction between individual and total is not there in unmanifest state. That's what I mean. Could you follow what I'm saying?
Okay, so I think you're saying that...
Like in a deep sleep state, you are not aware of that I am an individual, this is world. No, nothing. Why? Because you are in an unmanifest state. So the unmanifest state is something which as though resolves even a distinction of individual and total. Could you follow?
Yeah, I think the question where is not the right question. So it's...
unmanifest. See,
where unmanifest?
I can give that answer. See, ultimately, if everything is Atma, and other than that, whatever we see is a projection, appearance on the Atma, where appearance can resolve. That's it. Where waves will resolve. Waves is manifest condition, right? Waves resolve unmanifest now. Where it resolves. Same truth. Because everything is non-separate from that vastu. Therefore it cannot fly away somewhere else. What resolves where? What? Manifest condition. Broken, etc. Well, unmanifest now. Resolves in clay. When goldsmith makes ornaments from the gold, now same gold has manifested in the form, various forms. Suppose he melts all these ornaments, become unmanifest. Where? Where it has gone? Gold. Because there is nothing else. That's how I said in the evening class, ignorance also is in consciousness. Small knowledge also is in consciousness. All knowledge, because there is no, that's a basis. That only lends existence to everything, whether it is unmanifest or a manifest. One who lends existence to a given thing, that thing resolves into that thing only. That thing resolves into that thing. Okay? Yeah. Who lends existence to ornaments? Gold. So where ornaments will resolve? In gold. Because it is non-separate. It is non-separate. It has to be non-separate. If it is separate, means it has its own existence. Right? It has its own existence. And therefore unmanifest also will be ultimately in Atma. That's how I use the word ignorance in evening. Ignorance is basically is where? In consciousness. So this is how it is. But Swamiji, then consciousness means jnanam, and then ignorance also is in consciousness. Ajnanam in jnanam? Yes. Yes, very true. Because both are not of equal order of reality. One lends existence to the other. The other doesn't lend existence to this one. Ajnanam doesn't lend existence to consciousness. Consciousness lends existence to ignorance. Yeah, therefore ignorance is mithya and consciousness is reality, right? And therefore, this is entirely different thing. Therefore, ignorance can happily remain. A mithya thing can happily remain in Satyavastu. In fact, mithya is Satyam. Mithya is Satyam. Wave is water. Wave is water. Mithya cannot stand without Satyam, right? Mithya cannot stand without water. Mithya cannot stand without Satyam. Anyway, is it okay?
Can you explain the inverse though, which is question now it's from the unmanifest. What power causes the manifestation?
Unmanifest is a power. That is how unmanifest has various names. One of the name of unmanifest is power. Unmanifest is called Maya. Unmanifest is called Avyaktam. Unmanifest is called Avyakrutam. Unmanifest is called Shakti. We use say Maya Shakti. That is the potential. That's the power. The power of creating the whole tree lies where? In the seed. Right? Seed has that potential. It only germinates into the tree. So that's how we say Bija Shakti. We use that word. Bija Shakti. The power of, of that tree, coming forth of tree, lies there. And in that seed, the tree is unmanifest. Am I right? So unmanifest is given from various names from different angles. Avyaktam, Avyakrutam, Maya, Shakti, also called Avidya. It's also called Avidya. Avidya, because I'm not going. If you are interested, I can go on, but let's keep it aside now for a moment. Okay. How to make the behavior in synchronization with the true nature, which is Brahman. So, as simple as you understand yourself as the self of everything, your love also manifests to the others. Because the love for the self is unconditional. No condition. Love for others is conditional. If you evoked a pleased self in me, I love you. Therefore, my real love is not for you. My love is for the pleased self. That is why whenever there is a source of a joy, pleasure, happiness, there is a love. So love for the others is conditional. As long as you evoke a pleased self in me, I love you. As you evoke a displeased self in me, I hate you. Therefore, ultimately, my love is for myself. If I love myself, then the self should be the source of joy. Simple. This is how in Panchadashi Vidyaranya explains in the second chapter. He calls it as a sopadhika premaha, nirupadhika premaha. Upadhi means condition. Outside, there is a condition. Always. Even if you don't do like this, still there is a condition. Yeah. And that is how I love you becomes I love you. Right? That becomes. Because you stopped evoking a pleased self. Pleased self is the real self. Displeased self is not real self. Now we have discussed too much. I have not to go. Otherwise you will just get up and go away. Pleased self is the real self. That is the nature. Therefore you love yourself unconditionally. Everything is for oneself, for the sake of oneself. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Navahare patyuk kamaya pati priyo bhavati. Atmanastu kamaya pati priyo bhavati. Navare jayaye kamaya jaya priya bhavati. Atmanastu kamaya jaya priya bhavati. Navare sarvasya kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Who says? Yajnavalkya says to his wife Maitreyi. Very $1 billion statement. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. You say, I love this, I love that, I love this activity, I love that activity. Swamiji, I love this, doing charity for others and helping others and this. It is for yourself. Because you say, by doing that, you become pleased person. Well, you love your pleased self. And doing that, you get that pleased self. You evoke pleased self in you. So everything in the world, whatever the person does, he or she doesn't do for sake of anybody, for myself. To evoke the pleased self. Because I love pleased self because I am of the nature of happiness, fullness. That's how it is. Anyway, and that love, if you understand, and understand the pleased self, that I am of the nature of happiness, etc. Now, and that self is the self of all, Brahman. Therefore, the love for yourself now transforms into, it is love only, but it takes a little different shade. It becomes compassion for others. It becomes sharing. It becomes accommodating, etc., etc. Same love. And as such also you love yourself unconditionally. You know now that you are the self of everything. Therefore you love everything, but that love towards so-called others manifests in the form of compassion, sharing, accommodating, etc. So, the question is how to make the behavior in synchronization with the true nature. Well, this is the way you should do, you should know. But Swamiji, if I don't know Brahman, how will I do? Then fake it till you make it. You discover compassion in you by act of compassion. That's the way. You cultivate compassion by being compassionate to others. You discover accommodation in you by accommodating others. By act of accommodation of others. That's the way to do. And then definitely, you will definitely discover, because to be compassionate, to be loving, to be friendly, to be accommodating, you will have to give up your likes and dislikes, because you don't like to accommodate that person. But you are doing it. So you are neutralizing your likes and dislikes. You become adhikari for the knowledge. And then you truly understand that you are the self of all. Could you follow? So this is how one's action of compassion, etc., becomes natural then. Then it is not a cultivation. Cultivation is before gaining knowledge. Afterwards it is natural. That's how all our jnanis, they are all very compassionate, just by nature. They have not to act out of, they will not have to do an act of compassion. They by nature they are. Because they know. Because the way I love myself, I love everything. I don't have any partiality between two hands. I love this hand also, I love this hand also, and this part also. This hand, this hand. Because one self, one I pervades everything. Same way now this person's I has become very big I am Brahman, and therefore he loves everyone. But that love is in form, the expression of that love will be in the form of compassion and sharing and etc., accommodation, etc. Clear? Understanding also. Understanding other person. He is ready to understand. He doesn't react immediately. He is ready to understand. Empathy, everything. Those kind of things will naturally manifest. Earlier, well, before gaining knowledge, to gain qualification, he act out. And he became adhikari for that. Then it becomes natural. You explained a lot about I and Brahman today. It is yesterday actually, but because I had questions I could not answer, that is why. It makes me wonder how can this shapeless, formless, limitless, non-physical entity be the I that controls everything. Look at that. Controls everything. Are we fooling ourselves with the word Bhagavan and rituals aimed at pleasing two entities? How should we think about Bhagavan in future? I discussed yesterday, I told you very clearly, when you introduce Bhagavan, then all your understanding about yourself is different. When you say Bhagavan, means you are taking yourself as an individual, Jiva, clear. Right? That's it. No, I swallow Bhagavan. Well, then you are Brahman. Inquiry begins how? That's how when we discuss I am Atma Brahma, I have not used, even for the sake of using, word Ishvara. You must have noticed. 3 classes. Continuously we talked about Atma is Brahman. Nowhere Ishvara has come. But no, I am an individual, a observer, and the world is which is observed. Well, then the world is something which you have not created. Correct? Yes. It is given? Yes. Before your birth, it was there? Yes. Then who is the creator? Ishvara walks in. Then Ishvara walks in. When you see the difference between observer and the observed, subject and object, you take that difference as a reality, then Ishvara walks in. You, ultimately resolve the difference between subject-object as mithya. Ishvara is dismissed. But as I told you, to dismiss Ishvara, you need a grace of Ishvara. To understand yourself as a Brahman and swallow Ishvara, you need a grace of Ishvara. That's what it is. Anyway, so are we fooling ourselves, etc., with word Bhagavan and rituals? And rituals, etc., has a place. I mean, we should not. It has its own place. When I'm an individual, then everything has a place. Even Ashtanga Yoga has a place. It makes your mind very disciplined. Ashtanga Yoga there is nothing like Ashtanga Yoga, honestly, which can integrate your personality, really. Physical personality, definitely pranayama, yogasana, etc. And pranayama also helps for your pranas, definitely. Then other things are also there, dhyanam, etc., for the mind. So all integration, complete integration of your personality. Body, mind, senses, prana, everything. They have a pratyahara also, that which we call as a damaha in our sadhana chatushtayam, sensory control. They also have as a 5th step. So yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara. That pratyahara is a sensory discipline. Yeah. So everything is there. So it's a package for total integration. It's a wonderful thing. So Definitely, other rituals, etc., also can help you, definitely. You don't do rituals for any other purpose, but at least to gain grace of Ishvara, well, definitely can help you. So, and by the way, control. So, it makes me wonder, how can this shapeless, formless, limitless, non-physical entity be the I that controls everything? There is no control. Gold doesn't control ornaments. Gold has no will, let me control all ornaments now. Nothing. Gold being gold. All the ornaments, because the cause of everything, being cause of everything, being being of everything, because gives existence to everything, cause gives existence to everything. Being cause of everything, automatically things are, there is no control here. Control is only in that couples, newly, they have seen each other and they have some love, etc. Then they have a control. Love and control goes in modern society. How will you know that you love somebody? Well, you control the person. Yeah. I love you. Why did you come late today? And so on. That's it. More love, you want the other person to behave exactly as the person wishes. You manipulate the person, in fact, on the name of love. Here there is no. Atma is of the nature of love. Love means Atma is of the nature of joy, happiness. That's what Krishna is. Krishna is an embodiment of love, joy. Rama is an embodiment of dharma. There is a straightness everywhere. Here nothing is straight. Tribhangi. I wonder if Krishna was not born as Avatara, what would we have done? So much our culture is totally around. Indian culture is so much around these avatars, and especially Krishna. Rama also, but Krishna, amazing avatar. I am little confused about the Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Namaskaram to everyone for coming over here. I am really personally thankful to all of you, because without Shrotas, what we will do? So Vakta is useless if the Shrota is not there. Thanks a lot to everyone.